Hello and welcome to the J.M. Shearer Show, where stupid people speak. And guess what? This may very well be my last show of 2014. Not sure if it'll be my last show ever, because at this point I still intend to keep coming on and, you know, flapping my gums at you like I've been known to do for actually quite a while now. Um, but things are changing here, because of there's that healthcare law thing that went into effect about a year ago that said, everybody needs to, get health care uh, you know, or face income tax penalties. So I did that, but, one of the effects that's had is, I've been working fewer hours at my day job, which means I need to find a way of picking up a few more hours someplace. The way things have been going this year, that means I'm probably going to have to, once the first of the year rolls around, I'm going to have to, go looking for another regular day job someplace because the one I've got now isn't, quite cutting it because, well, 30 hours a week just isn't quite enough. And I thought I had a few other ideas, but apparently I did not know as much about them as I thought I did, so they haven't quite worked out for me. I still intend to keep trying at them, but, well, the way things have been going, I'm going to need to actually get something that's more guaranteed to, bring in a little income for me. Uh, Part of the reason I have not haven't been doing it this last month is, well, I've always been kind of a hard starter, especially in the month of December. But yeah, as you can see, I've kind of gotten a few grease burns on my hand here at work, which comes with the job and everything. But well, it's one of those things that happens. But if I'm gonna wind up potentially having job interviews, I'd kind of like to give these. Well, it's going to be another week until the first of the year. And when I say week, it's more like 8 days because today's the 23rd, and 7 days from now is the 30th, and there are 31 days in December. So probably gonna wait until the 5th of December to get started looking for other work because, well, I want to give these burns I showed you here some chance to heal. And then I still have a few other tricks, and ideas to, maybe try for some of this internet stuff I've been doing. I also need to get my ass in gear with, which has always been kind of a problem for me. And something else, yeah, and one of those things I need to, kind of have been trying to work on is my presentation here on these videos in my Mixler show. And I'm hoping that if I actually do learn how to do this halfway decently, maybe I'll actually be able to bring in a little income with it somehow. Uh, maybe that'll work out, maybe it won't, but I kind of feel bad if I didn't at least give it a shot. So, uh, before too terribly long, I'm going to try to find my notes for, uh, you know, restarting my Patreon campaign again that I came up with actually late October, early November, I think, and I didn't do anything with because, well, I tend to procrastinate like hell, which is actually one of my weak points. But then again, I have always been told that I come by that procrastination thing naturally, and I guess that's true. Which is not necessarily trying to knock not necessarily trying to knock the people who say that, but anyway, I think I know where those notes are, so I'm gonna try to find them here in the near future and actually do something with them. And I'm gonna be getting, in gear out and finding an actual day job too, just in case, because well, more than likely the whole internet stuff isn't gonna, work out for me, because it has a history of not. So that's kind of where I am right now. And then the big deal that's been going on actually since just before my last Mixler broadcast was I guess we've all heard about this thing with Seth Rogen movie called The Interview, where basically their plot was these two bumbling journalists or something were gonna get sent into North Korea, and they were supposed to like kill the leader Kim Jong Un or whatever his name is. Uh, the story, as I understand it, is that for obvious reasons they didn't particularly like that idea. Like that story, so they hacked in. So North Korea paid these hackers to break into Sony's computer system, and they made off with just tons and tons of stuff like passwords and social security numbers for employees and former employees and users of various Sony products, and from what I understand, this was not just the not just the movie division of Sony. This was for other Sony products as well, but mostly it was aimed at this movie division. So basically, if you were an actor or a director or basically somebody that like just held the camera or a microphone or something like that, they have your social security number and your email and stuff like that. And I guess they got like internal emails that were, excuse me, supposedly like embarrassing or something. This is what you're hearing is all my basically limited understanding of this, which basically kind of how I do my shows. If you've watched and or listened in the past, this is like nothing new to you. So, but anyway, this whole thing, where they were stealing all this stuff, and they, from what I understand, at one point there were terrorist threats made against U.S. movie theaters if Sony actually released that movie and released the interview movie, and so Sony decided that no, we're not going to, and then they've decided that okay, well, yeah, we are, because yeah, we're actually kind of thinking that North Korea is bluffing with those attacks. Not necessarily saying they are or are not. I'm anything but an expert on stuff like that. But from what I understand of the whole matter, you know, Sony could not have come up with a better marketing plan for this movie if they tried. And that's, I mean, even with all the, all the resources and, all the stuff they have to throw at this, there isn't a goddamn thing they could have done to market this movie better from what I mean, yeah, and I know it's an awful thing to say because, computers got hacked, information got stolen, people's lives could still very easily be ruined in any number of ways because of this. But at the same time, this is a movie that, before all of this happened, before, we were supposedly, not going to see this because of like threats of embarrassment to Sony and attacks on movie theaters and that kind of thing. Before all that happened, before, if this movie was just going to be a regular release on, this coming Friday or whenever it was supposed to be released, if everything had just gone ahead as scheduled without all this other stuff that's happened since then, yeah, chances are very good that, that the interview is a movie I just would not have gone to see because, well, I've seen other Seth Rogen movies and, well, gotta say, those other movies just haven't been very good. And because my budget is severely limited right now, I probably would not have wasted spent my money, probably wasted my money on the interview because, well, from what I've seen in the trailers and from other Seth Rogen movies I've gone to see, yeah, just not worth the time. But since we've gone to all this trouble of, oh no, they're, making fun of North Korea and Kim Jong Un and all of that. Well, since we're making all this trouble over it, I mean, here's a movie that I probably would not have given two shits about had none of this happened. But the fact that, we've gone and made such a big stink about it, I might actually go see it now. So, basically, all I can really tell Kim Jong Un and North Korea is, yeah, if your ultimate goal was to keep people like me from going to see this movie, actually raising a stink about it was kind of a stupid move. Because, hey, chances are actually one hell of a lot better now that I'm going to go see it as compared to what they were if you just left the damn thing alone, let it go. But hey, I guess you let your pride get the better of you. And now Sony and Seth Rogen and all these people are actually going to wind up making money off this stupid little movie of theirs that they might not otherwise have. So whether or not this is an actual thing that, this, North Korea and Kim Jong Un being upset over, this interview movie that they came up with, whether or not that's an actual thing, I guess Sony and the people involved with this movie ought to be thanking North Korea for being, so weird and crazy about this stuff because, I'm actually halfway interested in this movie now that they're going to balls up and release it in actual theaters. Because there were like streaming only or online only or whatever the hell kind of thing they were that I've heard people suggesting as an option. And even then, yeah, I was only half considering it because, well, I don't know if I actually want to. I mean, it's not just this hacker stuff that has me kind of worried about, these paying for these streaming services and whatnot because, well, it's like I was saying, back at the beginning of the video here. I'm on kind of a little limited budget here, so I don't necessarily know if I want to, go and pay for a streaming service for just one movie, unless they have that option, or I can just pay them for, if they say, okay, well, you can stream the interview for $5, or sign up for our service for like $5 a month, or just this one for $5. Well, do something like that. You might actually get my interest up. Yeah, if you give me the option of like not necessarily subscribing to the service for a long time, for a long term, because, well, I just don't have the budget, but I might be able to, scrape together enough to drop for like one movie every now and then, kind of like I do at the theater. But that's, just one suggestion there. So, yeah, and that's the one big topic that I guess has been going around lately, or at least the one I'm aware of, because, well, okay, the newest one, I guess I should say, because, well, I'm not so inobservant and so ignorant as to not know about all this police brutality stuff that's been going on or going around for, I mean, that's been going on for months now since, well, okay, I've been following this stuff since it happened this summer. I'm not sure which one happened first, the Mike Brown fella in Ferguson, or you'll forgive me if I don't remember the fella from New York's name. Yeah, because there was I guess it might have been about the same time, because they, just straight up shot, Mike Brown and Ferguson for, yeah, because my understanding of the Mike Brown case is that, yeah, I guess they did eventually find that he had robbed the convenience store that they said he did, but at the time the actual shooting happened, there was no connection. And even if there had been, that was no reason to shoot the guy. Because my understanding is that, yeah, he had actually surrendered. Like they hit him in the cop hit him in like the leg or something, and then he like surrendered, and the cop kept shooting. Which, yeah, I mean, the fact that Mike Brown was black actually kind of makes it worse. Because it's bad enough that he's, this cops going around. You got cops going around just shooting people. You know, you know, killing them like that when it may not be necessary. I'm not saying that it's. I mean, yeah, there are times when it is, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it's one of those things where I wouldn't be a very good cop because, well, I just, you know, don't think I could handle the pressure of being in that kind of situation. Then there was, then there was, that guy in New York where they had the chokehold on him, and he kept saying he couldn't breathe, and I guess eventually his asthma got the better of him. Uh, that's not a good situation either, from what I understand. But yeah, I really don't understand what's going on with the case in New York, because I guess they are giving it some media attention, but not nearly as much as they are, with the whole Ferguson thing. So, yeah, but like I'm always saying, this is basically me just, kind of sort of reading the news on my AOL homepage when I log in, and kind of listening to the news on the radio when I come home from work. So my understanding of what I'm blabbering on about here isn't exactly the best. But yeah, you know. Anyway, and as far as any of the rest of this goes, it's it's Christmas time again. It's our holiday season. Things are, yeah, the year's drawing to a close, so we'll have to see how things are going to shape up in the new year to come. Now, with what's going on next year, well, that's one of those things where we'll have to wait and see what happens when. there's always the excuse me again. But yeah, I mean, people are gonna ask what my New Year's resolutions are, and the only one I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stick to is the one I make every year. That's not to make New Year's resolutions. Things I'm gonna try to, or hoping to get done in the first little while after the first of the year is, get myself, another few hours of work someplace. Uh, and I'm gonna keep, trying to make something of this internet stuff I do because, well, I mean, much as I like having day jobs like what I'm doing now at Wendy's and whatever else I may do, uh, I've always felt that I'm better at, well, writing especially, and the more I do of this video stuff, the more comfortable I get at that too, because I've been at this broadcast for 20 minutes now, and I'm a lot more comfortable than I was when I first started. So if I do this on a more regular basis, hopefully things will work out for me better than they have been. So I guess those are like two unofficial New Year's resolutions to get a different job and to do more of this so I'm better at it. And a third unofficial resolution, I guess, would be to you know get my Patreon stuff set up so I can maybe actually do something with that as well. So anyway, um, gonna try something a little different with this uStream broadcast here because uStream is a little different than Mixler because here on uStream I can continue broadcasting without necessarily recording what I'm doing. Whereas on Mixler, if I want to be broadcasting, I have to keep recording as well. So what I've been doing on Mixler is, recording the part of the show that had usually been unrecorded here on UStream. So what I'm going to try to do is actually try to do a recorded video version of what's going on Twitter and Facebook. Now, whether or not that's a good idea, I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So, what's the first place I'm gonna go is my Facebook since I've got that up. Now, what's new on Facebook since I started this broadcast? Well, yeah, another photo manip from Bob Dobbs. Uh, Jag USA is telling us 13 things we didn't know about the Jaguar. Upworthy has a Martin Luther King picture. It's Miss Our Evolution Aries. Returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Yes, that's one of many things that Dr. King had very right. And it's something we all need to keep in mind. Thank you for reminding us of that, Upworthy and Dr. King. Uh, oh, and well, I'll have to read Nash Bozard's Tumblr post on the end of the end of internet anonymity. He says on Facebook, "Everyone knows you're a dog." Might do an actual YouTube video on that later once I've actually read it for myself once. Uh, yeah, otherwise, nothing particularly interesting on Facebook, so let's see what's going on Twitter. Uh, Safer Rafer, 18 seconds ago. Does too big to fail equal too big for jail? And it's a picture of Elizabeth Warren at her banking committee debut. I just want to note this. I just want to note on this. She says there are district attorneys and U.S. attorneys out who are out there every day squeezing ordinary citizens on sometimes very thin grounds and taking them to trial in order to make an example, as they put it. I'm really concerned that too big to fail has become too big for trial. This just seems wrong to me. Well, perhaps. Yeah, I almost kind of agree with that, too. USA Today retweet from Gregory Corte from the White House. The president has been made aware that President Bush was admitted to the hospital. I guess, well, it doesn't say which Bush it is, but in either case, they're not exactly young men, and it's kind of too bad they're not feeling well, whichever one it is. Uh, Boy. Somehow I'm not surprised that there really isn't an awful lot going on Twitter. But, yeah. I guess I shouldn't lean forward like that because I look kind of creepy. Uh, Fred Coppersmith has a retweet of a cat looking at himself in the mirror, or at itself in the mirror, that he apparently retweeted from someone called We Fail. And the caption above the picture reads, my favorite episode of Quantum Leap, because it's the cat looking at himself in the mirror like he's never seen himself before. Which I guess, considering that it's a cat, that's no surprise. Oh, Uber facts. Airplane food isn't very tasty because our senses of smell and taste decrease by 20 to 50% while flying. Well, that's interesting, I suppose, but not sure how relevant for a guy who hardly ever flies, who's only ever flown once. Um, Boy, guess that, yeah, there's not terribly much going on here. For Twitter. So I guess I'll see what these 5 new ones are. Uh, but yeah, from the looks of things, yeah, well, from the looks of things, it's just time to end the show for the week and possibly the next 2 weeks. So if I don't see you on the 30th, then I will see you on the 6th of January next year. Until then, have a good week or two. And this is JM Shearer signing off with I'm JM Shearer. And I'm an idiot, so you don't have to be. I'll see you in a couple of weeks if you're watching recorded. Talk to you later. Bye.